In my previous video, I explained why I believe the Ice Staff is the best staff on Origins. And in this video, I'll be explaining why I believe the best bow under Eisendrache is the Storm Bow. Once again, I asked all of you in a community poll on my channel, and once again, 77% of you chose the Storm Bow. That being said, I'm well aware that there are many Void Bow supporters, and even a handful of Fire Bow and Wolf Bow mains. So in this video, I'll be breaking down all 4 bows to see if I can show you which is truly the best. Now very quickly, before I address all of those 4 bows, I know some of the purists will be upset if I don't include this bow in the video. So coming in at the worst bow under Eisendrache is the default bow, or the Wrath of the Ancients. This is the only bow that does not do infinite damage. As you can see here, I'm struggling a lot to kill any zombies at all. That being said, I am still getting some kills, just very slowly, so it definitely isn't the worst thing on the map. That aside, to start off the main portion of the video, I think it's important that we split the bows into 2 categories. The first category is going to be the Wolf Bow and the Fire Bow. And the reason that I'm grouping these 2 together is because both of these bows function very similarly. In order to use these bows optimally, you must first group up the zombies as close together as possible, then shoot at the entire horde to take them all out. The Wolf Bow just insta-kills them, while the Fire Bow has a little bit of an animation, but in both instances it is able to take out a full horde. Well, mostly. After testing it a few times, I was never quite able to kill a full group of 24 zombies with either bow. It always felt like there were a couple extra stragglers each time. Interestingly, it seemed like the Wolf Bow always left 4 zombies alive and killed 20, while the Fire Bow was killing all but 2, so killing 22. Neither of these bows is perfect, but I think we can all agree that they operate very similarly, and they do get a similar amount of kills. Both bows require you to horde up the zombies first for maximum effectiveness, then they can take out between 20 to 24 zombies at a time. The Fire Bow was slightly more consistent at getting a couple extra kills than the Wolf Bow, but also at the same time, this burning animation takes a while, meaning it takes longer for the next wave of zombies to respawn. Either way, they're about equal in terms of power, but there's an argument to be made for either one being the better one. The next category includes the Storm Bow and the Void Bow. The reason that I'm grouping these 2 together is because both of these bows work by shooting down some sort of thing that persists and kills zombies. The Void Bow shoots this portal, and then there's skulls that run around and chase the zombies, while the Storm Bow shoots the electric tornado thing, whatever you want to call it. These 2 bows don't require you to get full hordes to use them. If anything, they're almost worse if you wait for the full horde to spawn. While I was testing the Void Bow, I found that it was wildly inconsistent. I had some hordes where I got greater than 30 kills with a single shot, which is really good, and some where I hardly got any. What I actually noticed is that the best way to use this bow is also to horde up as many zombies as possible, but you're gonna try and kill a lot of them with the impact of the bow itself, rather than from the skulls. Then you're gonna let the skulls deal with the stragglers and kill any new enemies that spawn. Unlike the previous 3 bows, with the Storm Bow, it is very unoptimal to train or full horde at all. As you can see here, when I do so, I get very few kills. It should be no secret that by far the best way to use the Storm Bow is actually by camping. If you camp in a spot like this one, you can breeze through the rounds very quickly. Also, because the zombies are more spread out, the bow is much better at getting kills more consistently rather than with a full horde in front of it. So which of the 4 bows is the best? Well, this time it actually kind of depends on your playstyle. If you want something very consistent where you can just get full hordes and do a standard horde kill repeat strategy, then it's probably going to be Wolf or Fire. All you need to do is get all the zombies in front of you, kill them all at the same time. Void Bow is also relatively good for this sort of thing, but if you imagine it, the skulls are going to be taking out zombies very slowly, so there's going to be a lot of zombies respawning while you are hoarding up, which makes it definitely less safe, but maybe it's worth the trade-off of getting the extra kills. If you are a player who prefers camping strategies, then the Storm Bow is the way to go. And I know that the Storm Bow will always be somewhat inconsistent, but the trick is just spam slightly more than you think is necessary. At least for the first 100 rounds, you will always have enough ammo to get you to the next max ammo, and that is even more true if you're running Gobblegums. But which one is objectively the best, and why? Well, of the 4 bows, like I said, it's going to have to be be the Stormbow. The fact is, camping strategies are both much faster and much safer than any possible training strategy, and the other three only really work when you're using training strategies. As you can see here, if I try to camp with the other three bows, it doesn't work at all. Camping strategies are going to be better under basically any conditions. The reason is they're going to be faster, they're going to be safer, and you're going to want to play the fastest strategy, because that will allow you to get to the highest round in the least amount of time. Plus, it's always better that, especially in a camping spot like this, the zombies only come from straight in front of you. They're not coming from all different directions. Now, there's one more thing that's important to address. Many players believe that the Ice Staff isn't better than the Wind Staff because it technically doesn't do infinite damage, because it breaks starting around 112. And I think it would be only fair if I held the bows to the same standard. So let's see what happens to the bows on extremely high rounds. Starting with the Void Bow, you'll notice that on high rounds, the Void Bow has a ton of trouble actually killing the zombies. What you'll see is that there will be a bunch of headless zombies chasing you around. Luckily, those headless zombies are an insta-kill and can be killed by any bullet weapon in a single shot. The Stormbow has a very similar thing going on. On high rounds, it will create torso zombies, meaning zombies with no head, arms, or legs sometimes, and they're still able to chase you. Again, these guys are also an insta-kill with any bullet weapon, but it will make most camping strategies significantly more difficult, if not impossible, which means that the Stormbow does in fact drop off. The Firebow is also affected on high rounds, and this time I'll just let you see what happens. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how to describe this one. Luckily, once again, these zombies are also insta-kill, so use any bullet weapon to take care of them. And that leaves just the Wolf Bow, which is actually the only bow that is still able to kill zombies normally on high rounds. So that means for all the purists out there that think that true infinite damage and no bugs is what defines the best weapon, the Wolf Bow is technically the most powerful and might be considered the best. But at the end of the day, I think Treyarch did a much better job balancing the bows to give you more variety and strategy, as opposed to all the staves, which pretty much all encourage camping strategies. Plus, if you really think about it, the best bow is, well, none of them, actually. The best weapon on Horizon is just any Deadwire weapon and the Ragnaroks. At some point soon, I'm going to make a tutorial on how this strategy works that you see here. And I'm going to show you how to get to round 100 without using any bows at all. If you want to see that, and if you liked this video, subscribe for more awesome videos like this. Also, I know that the Tomb has just released today or yesterday at the time I'm uploading this, and I promise my next video will be covering that map. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.